Now, if you want to be a very productive person, or not even very productive, you just want to increase your own subjective productivity, you're going to have to say no to a lot. Maybe not even a lot. You're just going to have to say no to some things, okay? Hi guys, my name is Lola OJ. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Now this video is going to be a bit different from some of the videos I've posted in the past, and to be honest, it's actually something that I spend a lot of time on in terms of self-development, in terms of learning. That's actually where the bulk of my time is spent, but I don't really showcase it that much because I hate to sound like a preacher or a speaker, because I'm literally just trying to figure my way through life as well. But I found that I have some useful tips that have definitely increased my productivity, and I thought, why not share them? I mean, I didn't invent these things. They're just things that I found that are practical. So there are a lot of things that say, do this, do that, learn this and learn that. And sometimes even learning the thing can be more tasking than doing the thing. So these are just simple, easy tips that I find have increased my productivity drastically. And just to give you a background of who I am and what I'm about, I am a lawyer. I am a mother of a 1-year-old, a beautiful daughter called Asia. I'm currently learning at the moment. Of course, I create content I own a business, amongst other things that I'm doing. So the reason why I need to be so productive is because I have a little girl who needs a lot of my time, but at the same time, I'm an individual, I'm a woman who also wants to maximize her own potential as well as the potential of her child. So productivity is a big thing for me, and it's been a game changer of how I'm able to juggle so much. I am exhausted pretty much all the time, but I do get things done. So these are just 7 useful tips. You don't, of course, have to be a mother to do these tips. You don't have to be anything or anyone, or you can be whatever you want to be. They're just tips that help me, and I hope they help you. So let's get started. Tip 1. So tip 1, I must say, this is probably like the oldest thing in the book, but it is by far one of the best things that I've ever learned. And I've been doing this for years and years and years. And that is to make a to-do list the night before. Now, I'm not talking about a to-do list of get groceries, or, like comb my hair. No, I'm talking about a well thought out, structured list of what you hope to achieve tomorrow, right? Now, the great thing about this is it has you mentally thinking about what you're going to do the next day, meaning you're probably going to wake up more focused because you're going to wake up and hit the ground running. You're not going to wake up and start thinking, what should I do today? What should I do? No. The day before, spend time. It can be 10 minutes, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 1 hour, mapping out what you're going to do the next day. Now, you have your kind of to-do list, like things like buy groceries and stuff. But then you should actually have like a schedule, like block out hours of what you want to dedicate your time to. So if it's you want to study at this time, you want to do your business plan at this time, you want to play with your child at this time. I know it sounds crazy, but I do allocate time for those things the night before. So I go to sleep kind of in control, knowing that when I wake up by the grace of God the day after, I hit the ground running. I'm not procrastinating or wasting time trying to figure out what this day is about. I think it really puts you in focus that night. You sleep well as well because you're not overthinking and fussing. And when you wake up, you look at your list, you know what to do, and you go. So a to-do list, a good structured to-do list the night before, for me, is an amazing thing to increase your productivity. Tip number 2 is the power of saying no. N-O. Now, if you want to be a very productive person, or not even very productive, you just want to increase your own subjective productivity, you're going to have to say no to a lot. Maybe not even a lot. You're just going to have to say no to some things, okay? So what I have found is that maybe before, when I was a lot younger, I used to say yes to a lot. Maybe because I wasn't as focused, or I didn't really care that much. But now I realize that in order to be productive, we only have 24 hours in the day, and let's say half the time, well, not half the time, I wish, we spend sleeping, and then you spend eating, you're driving. You only have a certain amount of hours to actually focus and get things done. Now, if you fill up those hours with things that you don't need to do, you're not going to be that productive. So if you don't need to do some things, delegate them. If you don't need to, hang out with a friend at that particular time, don't do it. So for example, if I know I blocked out time to film, blocked out time to study, blocked out time to spend with my child, no matter what you call me for, God forbid it, an emergency, I'm going to say no to it. Like, I like to plan. If we're going out, let me know a couple of days before. We're going out on Friday. You can't just phone me up on a whim, right? And be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, in the next hour, I'm probably doing something. So for me, you can't please everyone. And to be honest, productive people understand the power of scheduling and stuff as well. So you're going to have to be happy with saying no. And that doesn't mean you have to be mean. It just means you have to put yourself and the things you care about first. And you're going to have to say no. And guess what? People are going to say no to you as well. When you suggest, let's do this, let's do that. Sorry, no, I'm busy that day. Okay, what about this day? Everyone does it. So don't feel bad if you have to say no to some things, to some people, to some things. Just say no, guys, and do what you set out to do. Okay? I guarantee you're going to get things done a lot faster. Okay, so tip 3 kind of ties in to tip 2, was to say no a lot, is plan and edit often. Now, plan your days, plan your months, plan your years, plan your life. Now, of course, you're not going to know everything you're going to do, but plan and edit. You can remove things, you can add things. But what this does, right, is it really puts you on a path towards working towards something. Now, you could just wake up every day and not know what you're doing. And again, I'm not judging anyone. It works. If it works for you, go for it. But I'm one of those annoying people that I'm kind of planning for the next 5 years, God spare my life, planning the next year, planning the next month, planning the next week. Like, I like to do things in advance. Not only does it give you time to adjust and edit where necessary, it allows you to do things well because you have enough time to do it. You don't have to rush or stress. So plan and edit often. And yes, you're not crazy if you're thinking 10 years ahead. You're not crazy if you're thinking 5 years ahead. You're not crazy. It's what a lot of people do. And it does increase your productivity because you're able to then do things correctly because you kind of know where you're going. I hope that makes sense. Okay, tip 4 is one I love so much, and that's reward yourself. Guys, rewards, right? Rewarding yourself for things done well and completed, right? It helps increase your productivity. Now, everybody likes enjoyment. Everybody likes nice things, okay? So imagine you keep doing things, or you keep being productive, and then you keep giving yourself rewards. You're going to keep being productive because you want the rewards. Now, let me explain. If I know that I want to study this particular topic and I want to finish it by the end of the week or within the next 2 hours, depending on whatever I'm aiming towards, I say, you know what, Lola, once you're done with this, you can watch 2 episodes of your favorite thing on Netflix, or you can go out, you can order something to eat, or you can buy yourself a nice pair of shoes. Like, I know it sounds silly, like, I know we're not dogs, in terms of do something well, I'll give you a treat. But it really actually helps because it encourages you. Sometimes when it's just you and it's hard to motivate yourself sometimes. So I find I really like watching a good series or a good documentary, but I don't want to just spend all my days watching things that are not necessarily enhancing the quality or the value of my life. So instead, and this is why it takes me months, guys, sometimes a very long time to complete a series, right? I reward myself when I've completed a particular task. So that's just one way. It may not be, of course, Netflix or whatever, but you can reward yourself with anything. It could be chocolate. It could be going to see your friend. But don't reward yourself before you've done things because in essence, then it's not going to encourage you somewhat to be productive. So don't have the reward before you've done the work. Okay, tip 5 is one that is quite hard to do, but once you master it, guys, it really does change a lot of things. Now this is, I can't remember who said it, but someone famous, of course. Maybe Zig Ziglar, my guy. I love Zig Ziglar. Work when you work. It might not be him, by the way, because I can't remember. And play when you play. Now this means if you sit down and you want to spend an hour doing practice questions for an exam you have to do, sit down and be focused on that thing. No distractions, no TV. I work with classical music, so I would say no music if it distracts you, but no music that's not gonna distract you, right? No phones, no conversations, don't have people around. Work when you work, because what happens is when you work when you're meant to work, when it's time to play, you don't feel guilty. So if I know that, okay, I'm gonna spend an hour, let's say I've treated myself with watching Netflix, it's okay because I just spent a solid hour doing practice questions for an exam, or I just spent a solid hour doing admin for my business. It's really important to not mix the two. When you're working, you don't want your mind thinking about playing. When you're playing, you don't want to be like, oh crap, I didn't do that earlier, so now I have to be thinking. I like to be in the experience I'm in. If I'm on the beach, I don't want to be thinking about, oh gosh, when I get back, I have to do this assignment. No, I want to think about my assignment when I'm doing my assignment. I want to play with my child when I'm playing with my child. I want to relax when I'm relaxing. I'm one of those annoying people. When I'm in the cinema, I'm not pressing my phone. I want to be watching the film, right? I want to be playing when I'm playing, and I want to be working when I'm working. Don't mix the two, guys. Trust me. Because then your head is always going to be in fuzzy thinking. You're always going to be thinking about what you're not meant to be thinking about. So focus, focus, focus. Okay, tip number 6, which is from Brian Tracy. If you used to follow me on Snapchat, when I actually used to snap, I used to snap a lot about time management from Brian Tracy. So he's a great guy. Check him out if you haven't, but hopefully you have, because he's awesome. And I met him as well when he came to Nigeria. Guys, it was amazing. Anyway, we'll save that story for another day. Eat that frog. Basically, and this will come down to when you schedule and you do your to-do list and stuff from the night before, do the task that is going to yield the most results, which is normally the hardest task. Do that first. Not only does it set the momentum because you feel like, yes, I've done it, I can do anything. It also allows you to know that even if that's the only task you do throughout the whole day, let's say you get distracted or get called away, you've done the most important thing already. You don't have to think about it. So if it's making that phone call, if it's sending that, letter, if it's studying a particular topic that you can't stand, do it first. Because the thing is, we're human beings, guys. We're going to get distracted. We're going to be unmotivated. We're going to be discouraged. And I know this from personal experience. It's so much harder to begin studying a hard topic at like 3 p.m. versus if you wake up at 8, 9 a.m. and you just close your eyes to it and you get down and do it. So eat that frog, okay? Eat it because it makes your life easier, right? And it also, the reason why I love doing the hardest task first is it makes you feel unstoppable. Because even if the hardest task, let's say it was making a phone call to that boss or whatever, and they say no, and you didn't die, you can still carry on with the day. And if they say yes, you feel unstoppable. You feel like all the rest of your tasks look so easy. You just go, go, go. So eat that frog, guys. Eat that frog. Okay. And tip number 7, I would say, is delegate. Now, I know this thing is difficult if you're in Nigeria, especially because sometimes you delegate things to others and they kind of give you double work, right? You're delegating it to them, then you end up doing the work. So I know it's hard to delegate, but it is very important to find people you can delegate to so you don't spend your time doing meaningless tasks very well. I know it sounds trivial, but when I tell people I don't really clean much, I don't really cook much, they're like, well, I cook my daughter's food, right? Because I'm just really particular. When it comes to myself, I'm not going to spend 3 hours making amala and effort when I could spend 3 hours doing something extremely constructive for my business. Now, I can still get fed, right? No one else can perhaps handle that particular task when it comes to my business. So I find delegate. Get someone to clean if you can afford it. Get someone to cook if you can afford it, If it's something, graphics, you don't have to teach yourself how to be a graphics designer. If you can afford it, get someone to do your graphics, Research is one thing that I found. Like, when I found someone that can research things for me, I was like, Lola, see your life. Sometimes I would spend days researching something. Maybe I want to do something and I need to research it. And then I found out there are people that are researchers. You can literally pay people to research and submit a report to you. And you just read that, get the information you want, and you're done. Guys, that thing, delegating, has saved me hours of doing things very well that I need not do in the first place. So do not be one of those people that, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm busy. Then you really look at your week and you've not achieved much apart from just running errands, so to speak, delegate, delegate. And the thing about, you may not live in Nigeria, but even if you live abroad, what am I saying? There are websites like Fiverr, and there are young, buzzing people who are willing to work, right? But you have to know that you're going to have to pay people. You can't be making people do so much for free. But delegate, by all means, delegate, please. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Lola OJ, and yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, drop a comment. Let me know if there are any other productive tips. If you like this video, guys, I am more than happy to share more information about increasing productivity. It's something that I'm very passionate about because, I mean, everybody wants to live their best life and enjoy it, you know? So I'm really passionate about self-development. So have a blessed and productive week ahead. Yeah, bye guys.